Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. As you can see, we got the zero turn back in here, and it is due for its service before the season starts. And yeah, before I can do that, I'm going to replace this carburetor on it because it's gummed up, and I ended up breaking it trying to get it going. So that's life. 16 bucks on the Jungle site got me another one, so I'm going to start by swapping that out, getting it running, getting it warmed up. We'll go on and change the oil in it, change the oil filter, air filter, so on and so forth. So let's get at it. So to get started, we're going to pull, I've already pulled the airbox cover and the air filter out of the way. I'm going to go on and pull the airbox out. There should only be 2 bolts that hold it on. Kind of sandwiches the carburetor in place to the engine. If there's any more, I don't recall, but we'll see if we can find them if there are. I don't think there are. So should just be 2 10mm nuts that hold the airbox to the carburetor. So got the airbox out of the way. Like I said, 2 nuts is all it took to pull it out, and the little vent tube from the valve cover here. So yeah, now the carburetor is loose because the 2 nuts sandwich everything together. So we can slide this off, disconnect the linkage for the choke and the throttle, and disconnect fuel line, and this will be ready to swap out. And there we are. Old carburetor is off. This one had a ground screw with a wire coming off of it for the fuel shutoff solenoid. The new one has 2 wires coming off the solenoid, so I'll have to adapt that a little bit. But yeah, no problem. So old carburetor is off, and this one has a ground wire coming off the body. And as you can see, the fuel solenoid is snapped off the base. Here is our replacement cheapy carburetor, and this has got 2 wires coming off the solenoid. So the ground will be integrated into that plug instead of off the carburetor itself. But yeah, should pretty well be a bolt-on replacement. So I got the new carburetor slid in place. Some wiring changes made to make it work. But yeah, I'm gonna get the airbox put back on and see if it runs. New carburetor and air filter are in. Now we're gonna come around this side and swap this nasty fuel filter out before trying to get this thing started. And hopefully it'll run, and we'll let it warm up and change the oil out. Well, now that it's good and warm, it's running like a top now. I went on and changed the main fuel line from the bottom of the tank, put another fuel filter in, and got that routed up, and also found a loose bolt that attaches the engine to the chassis, and that was an issue as far as the ground goes, because the main ground was connected to that bolt, and it was loose. So it was dropping juice to our fuel shutoff solenoid. And yeah, that's no bueno, but we got it going. So I'm gonna go on and dump the oil out of it, spin that filter off, change the oil and everything, and grease everything up, and we should be good to go. Get up here and get this filter spun off. New Kohler filter on, and this time, this season, we're going with 530 Ultra Platinum. I've got an abundance of it, so that's what we're going to run in it. That's what I've been running in my generators and such. So I figure, why not? It doesn't take much. So I'm going to go on and top it off and let it run a little bit, check it, and that should be good. I'm not going to service the drives yet because the drives haven't gotten warm. from just sitting here, so I will probably service them after the first mow, if I even do this season. It's not really necessary to do it every season, but we'll see. Still need to grease the pivots and the spindles on the deck, but yeah, that'll pretty well wrap it up, and it'll be good to go for the season. Everything is topped up. Already let it run a little bit, so all that's left is for me to grease the spindles and the pivots for the front wheels, and it should be good to go. I also did a little work to the drive belt tensioner, because the springs for this thing are really hard to come by, and yeah, I got tired of trying to find them when they break. So I made some changes to that, and I'm going to put up another video on that probably here in the next couple days. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. We pretty well should be good to go. Yep, the $100 zero turn is still kicking. No issues with the drives. This is year 3 after drilling the holes in them, and it's been running great. Only issue we had this year was with the carburetor, and that was my fault. So I shouldn't have let it sit the whole winter, and I also shouldn't have accidentally dumped a little bit of diesel fuel in the tank. Yeah. But hey, that's what happens when you use all red cans for fuel. Oops. But anyways, with that said, yeah, hit that thumbs up button if you would. It helps us out. It doesn't cost you anything. If you got any comments, questions, complaints, drop them in the comment section below. If you want to support the channel, check out the website, www.notsograndgarage.com. You can get our merch, black diesel gear, you know the drill. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We appreciate you watching.